Hello, friends. Can everybody hear me okay? We should be good to go on sound. If anyone watching can confirm. I know there's a bit of delay, so I'll wait. Looks good and sounds good. Awesome. I just spent the last 45 minutes-ish working on my lighting. We've got quite the hookup in here today. Not sure what changed overall, but I guess I had to make some adjustments. So anyways, thank you. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for being here. Today's class is using the Gorgeously Made bundle, which is beautiful and I think might get overlooked in the catalog. But before we get started, I just want to do a bit of housekeeping. First of all, I am starting a new YouTube series on Saturday called Christmas in July. And I will be featuring a new stamp set or bundle each Saturday to show you or give you ideas and inspiration for your Christmas cards this year. Now, we do have some Christmas items coming out July 1st, or I'm sorry, not July 1st, July 6th. And those are online exclusives. So a heads up about those. I will be doing, sorry, words are hard today. Some Christmas cards with those during my Saturday series. However, they go fast. So if you see something that you love, I suggest that you grab it because it's not guaranteed that it will be restocked once it's sold out. So you can join me on Saturday for that. The Saturday video series will be pre-recorded. So there isn't a specific time that you need to show up. They'll just be posted on my YouTube channel each Saturday. And also, if you have not already signed up for my newsletter, I do have a free gift for subscribers. Hey, Jenny. Nice to see you. Sorry, I saw you pop on and then I got talking and then I forgot to say hello. So if you sign up for my newsletter, I do have a free gift for you. I have put together some of my favorite sketches and I use sketches a ton. And those are my gift to you when you subscribe to my newsletter. Now, my newsletter is really simple. I only send out pertinent information, things like upcoming promotions, things about the class that I'm going to hold during the week, things like that. So it's not a bunch of, daily emails or anything I think you might not be interested in. So if you would like to sign up for that, please feel free. If you've already signed up and would like the sketches, just message me and let me know. I'm more than happy to give them to you. It was something new that I started. So let's get started on our class. So we're using the Gorgeously Made bundle. Sorry, I have this so far down because I don't want the ring of my light to cause too much glare. So these are the stamps and dies. And Tammy, I put the stickers on the back of my stamps. You'll be happy. After all the frustration with this one, trying to get that straight, I decided to put the stickers on them. So we're going to be using this bundle today. And you will notice in the catalog, there is also some paper currently on sale. Our designer series paper sale ends on the 30th, which is Friday. So you can currently get this on sale. And it is stunning in person. I know sometimes when you look at things in the catalog and you're like, holy wow, but seriously gorgeous paper. And we'll be using just a small piece of it today. And then these embellishments as well. And when you purchase in my online store this month for this class, you can get these for free. So you can read more on my website about how that works. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's put my catalog where it belongs. Okay, so the first card that we're going to do, well, let me show you the cards. The first card is going to be this one. You will love it, Jenny. When I first, I think I bought the dies first because I really wanted these two, but I absolutely love them. It almost looks like a very simple bundle, but it's just really fabulous. Here's the next card and then that card. So you'll see we use some of the DSP, and your card kit, which is free with the purchase, includes everything that you need to make these cards, excluding the, thank you, Tammy, for posting my link. I appreciate that. Excluding the dies and stamps, and then a few other supplies, which are always listed on my website that Tammy just linked to. And so this month you're going to need a couple ink colors, but I provide all the cardstock. Even though you will have the bundle to cut these dies, I will provide the cardstock pieces for you to cut the dies from. So you will be able to do everything. So let's get started on the first card. The first card uses watercolor, and this is super, super easy. There's multiple ways that you can do it. Make sure I have so many bins of stuff sitting around that I just want to make sure I grab the right one. So in your kit, actually, I put all these kits together to show you, and then I forgot to show you because I set them behind me. So I'll show you what they look like really quick. One of these days, I'm not going to be so discombobulated. So when you get your kit, for example, for the first card, because you will make 2 of each design, you will get your card base, but you'll also get the cardstock you need. So you'll get this piece of watercolor paper to use. And then this green piece of paper is going to be for your die cut. And then there is also a white piece of paper in here somewhere that is for your sentiment. And when I do the sentiments, if you're going to need more than one, I will oftentimes put in one card kit. For example, on this card, I'll put one piece that you will be able to use for both cards. So if you're ever confused and think, oh, I only got one piece of that, oftentimes it's large enough for 2 sentiments. So similar thing, this month there's an embossed panel. So I will include the embossed piece for you. And this is the, oh boy, I meant to keep this out so I could remember. This is the Twisted Rope 3D embossing folder. So this is what your kits will look like when they come. And obviously you'll have 2 of each one of those. So you can make 6 cards. Okay, so now back to what we were doing. So what I'm going to do for this watercolor color panel, the old punch. Yes, it is so great. The edge of the notebook, it's fabulous. I want to say we had another die that was similar to that. And I don't know if that set retired. Anyway, if someone remembers, let me know. So this is just, I'm not sure of the technical term. I just call it an art board, and you can use it for painting when you're doing watercolor. And then just a paper towel to put on top of it. And then I have my block. So what I'm going to do is take my Coastal Cabana ink pad, and I'm just going to smash it on this block. Now, you can use anything like one of your cutting plates for your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You can use a piece of acetate that comes in your stamp sets or that wraps your embellishments. You can use your silicone craft sheet, anything that has a slick surface that you can spray water on. And then just take any spray bottle that you have, spray some water on that. And then you're just going to lay this piece on top of there. And this can get kind of messy. And the cool thing is that it just comes out in different ways. So you can leave it like this. You can put it back on your block. You can use way less ink than I did. You'll see on the panel of this one, I actually did this differently. And I thought, oh my gosh, people are not going to want to do this because they might not have, this was a big mistake. I thought I took out a baby wipe. But what I did was I took the piece of paper and I took one of my water painter brushes, aqua painters, and I put water all over the panel. And then I dropped ink in it or onto it from some re-inker that I had squeezed in one of my palettes, my watercolor palette dishes. And honestly, I kind of like this artsy effect better than this wash. Okay, I think I managed to do that without too much ink on my hands. So this is obviously going to take a while to dry. So I'm just going to use my tweezers from my embossing kit, and I'm going to heat dry this really quick. So I apologize for the noise. I suppose I could have just set aside a panel and done the magic of TV, but so the paper is going to warp somewhat because it comes in contact with water. I try to flatten it out as much as I can with my heat tool, but my suggestion to you when you adhere it to your card front is to use tear and tape. You guys are going to laugh, but I prepared all these kits to show you and then forgot to cut my own card bases. Yeah, it's been a doozy. Okay, so let's set this aside for a second and we will go ahead and fold our card base. And then we'll grab our tear and tape and we will put some on the back of our watercolor panel here. And I just love this kind of watercolor technique. Yeah, when you can't find the beginning of your tape, just because, you know, watercolor painting, if you're going to paint an image, takes patience because you need to wait for the layers to dry before you add more color if you want it to have dimension and not be all muddy. So I just think this is kind of fun and quick. And you could just do, you know, a large piece and then you could cut whatever you want from it. I'm sorry if you hear some jingle bells. My cat may be dragging a toy in here at any moment. Okay. So then we'll go ahead and we'll remove this tape and we'll adhere this to the card front. And because the dies, at least the two, well, they're not flowers, but the floral dies is what I'll call them. Actually, the foliage dies are delicate. I suggest using our, why am I drawing a blank? Adhesive sheets for those when you cut them. They're very easy to apply. So I keep seeing a cat hair and maybe I'm just, there it is. Oh, cat hair everywhere. They're very easy to apply. They have a seam on one side and you just want to make sure that when you cut them in a certain direction. Oh my gosh, that's totally crooked, you guys. In a certain direction so that you have a seam on the back, which you only peel off part. And then you, this is why liquid glue is so nice, but I want my watercolor paper to stay down. Anyway, so if you've put our stamps together or stickers on the back of our stamps, how they have a seam, you will see that you adhere one side of it and then you peel off the other side to adhere the rest of the stamp down. And it's the same thing with the adhesive sheets. You take one side off from the seam and then you, sorry, I got some ink here, so I'm using my sand eraser to kind of get rid of it. Then you peel up the other side and just lay it down flat on the paper. And they're super easy to use. This is still crooked. Wow. Is it Monday again, you guys? Unless it's my watercolor paper that's crooked. I don't know, I swear it's straight. Okay. Hey, Heather, nice to see you. All right, I'm just making sure that that's mostly dry. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take our die cut. I have pre-die cut everything, and I have adhesive sheets on the back of my dies. Now, give me your opinion. What background do you like better? Now, hopefully this shows better on your screen, because on mine, the colors look way off. But I kind of like this brighter background. And I'm just going to go ahead and peel the adhesive sheet off. And just doing it slowly. And sometimes I pop all of the little pieces out of my die cuts, and sometimes I don't. You like the first one, the lighter one. I don't know why this looks so crazy on my screen. But anyway, neither here nor there. And then you will get a piece of paper to stamp this in your kit as well. And this is cut out with one of the dies from the bundle, the dies in the bundle, the Gorgeously Made dies. And you're going to just go ahead and use some dimensionals to pop this up. You like the artistic one. Tammy likes the artistic one. Jenny likes the first one. I will probably need to retake a picture of this, but you know, this shows a lot more pigment where this one doesn't. And you can use either. You can put way less ink on your block, spray water, kind of tilt your block to get the ink to run, and then put it on there. Everything is custom. And then we're going to use the embellishments, and these are free with your kits. When you make a purchase of 50, you just need to always make sure that you use the current host code. You will see that at the bottom of the screen here. And I do link everything on my website to the host code, but just double check that you are, that it's in there when you're ordering. And then we're just going to use these pink ones. I love these embellishments. And that's it. I'll hold them up closer so you can. And there's your first card. Okay, so our next card is going to be one that I set aside and can't find now. He's staring me right in the face. I'm going to move my watercolor stuff out of the way here. Okay, so the next card is going to be this one. Thanks, Jenny. So we're going to do this one. And this one does have some stamping, but not a lot. And it also has some flicking with gray granite Stampin' Blend. So go ahead and get our card base. Oh boy. One of my cats is on the railing, trying to cause trouble. So these cards I actually folded a little bit differently, but we are just gonna, I cut them this way. I think a lot of people are used to cards being cut this way. I'm not sure. Okay, so we're gonna need to do a little stamping. So we have this stamp here, which has just a bunch of different gobbledygook words on it. Thanks, Heather. I do too. And you know, the one nice thing about the product suites is the designer series paper gives us all the colors that coordinate. So it's pretty easy to put some winning color combos together. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do some stamping, but I need to mask off this seam right here because I mean, no one's going to care if there's a little bit of stamping on the back. They're probably not even going to notice. But I like to mask it off. So we're just going to kind of alternate where we stamp it. You can do it however you like. It looks like a hot mess right now, doesn't it? Okay, close our ink. And then we will take our white piece of paper. You will get an entire piece of white paper, and then you will die cut it just like this. And we're going to do some flicking on this piece. This is, oh, I'm like, it's not showing up. That's because I'm flicking it everywhere but my piece of paper. So just completely random. I'm using the light gray granite. You can use dark. You can use any color you want. This is just the one that I listed on my supply list. So then we're going to use this, and I actually forgot to cut the bottom of this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I guess we're going to die cut on screen because I forgot. Sorry for the table shaking. All right, so, and this die, because it's supposed to look like a torn edge, it doesn't really matter. Oh, you know what? I'm a dork, you guys. I didn't die cut that. That's actually hand torn. Oh, well, we're going to die. No, never mind. Wow. You know, and I've had a lot of caffeine today and my brain is just not firing on all syllables. Okay, ignore. All right, we're going to hand tear this. Okay, so no rhyme or reason. If you want, I just cut this so I could see this torn edge. You can tear it that way. You can tear it any way you want. And then we're just going to adhere it onto the paper. Let me grab my Stampin' Seal. Isn't the other side pretty? This paper is hard because there's the multiple sides of the paper are just stunning. Okay, so we're going to just kind of put that down at an angle. And then we need to stamp this foliage right here in Night of Navy. And this one I did cut with that torn edge die. And you can do the designer series paper with the edge die as well. I just tore it. And we're just going to stamp this on here. And we'll go ahead and adhere this down. Not with that. I need to refill my Stampin' Seal. Okay. Then we're going to put down our azure afternoon die. Okay, and we'll need a piece of twine. Now, I am not very good at tying bows on camera. I should have maybe pre-done this, and I tend to cut a lot of string because I can make some mistakes. I tried to cut just enough to make a bow, and yeah, that didn't work very well for me. Okay, and then we're going to need a glue dot. And I'm going to leave the ends until I get my sentiment on. And our sentiment is going to be this little sentiment here. And I cut this twice. So I stamped on the piece of paper, then I cut it with the die cut, and then I turned the die cut around and laid the edge over here so I could cut it shorter, but still have that torn edge. So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know and I can demonstrate it. And you're just going to want to stick one on either side of your sentiment and kind of move your bow so you can put it over the center of the knot there. And then I will cut my ends. And I like my ends to kind of be fancy. Thanks, Tammy. So there we have that. And then we will go ahead and put our embellishments on. We're using more of the pink, although you could easily use any of them on here. And there we have card number 2. Now, if you wanted your background stamping to be a little more subtle, you could stamp off. You could use a darker marker, whatever you wanted to do. Because these can just be a good jumping off point for you, and then you can go and do whatever you like. So there's that card finished. And then our last card will be this one. Oh, but I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but it's no longer a bundle. I'm calling it a bundle, but it's not anymore. But it is the bundle that carried over for Christmas. I believe the stamp set is called Perched in a Tree. I have it around here somewhere. And then the dies are the aspen tree dies, I believe. And that's what I have used for my first Christmas in July video on Saturday. I've created 3 cards. Okay, next you have your kit with the embossed panel. So let's go ahead and get our card base out. Thanks, Jenny. I love the blues too. I think Tammy has rubbed off on me because she loves blue, and now all of a sudden I love blue. So I've gone ahead and embossed this for you, and I distress the edges on the original. You can do this with scissors. You can do it with your nails. You can do it with a distressing tool. I have a really old distressing tool from back in the day when that was a thing. And just for time's sake, I'm not going to distress this one, and we can just kind of see what the difference looks like. And then you can decide for your card. So we're just going to angle this a bit. And then I need to clean off this stamp really quick because we need to stamp on our white piece of paper. So we have another one that is cut with these, and we've got a couple stamps we need to do on the white. Okay, I'm always such a hot mess after I stamp. My hands, I mean, I'm surprised I am not covered in more ink. Okay. So we're going to use Coastal Cabana. And for this stamp, I am going to stamp off and cover that so you can kind of see. And I'm just going to stamp it on a diagonal. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. You're just creating a background. And then I am going to go ahead and take the foliage stamp that we used earlier, that we stamped in Night of Navy, and I'm just going to stamp a little bit of it right here. All right, so let's go ahead and get this adhered to our panel. Maybe. There we go. Couldn't find my adhesive. I purposely set my Stampin' Seal aside because I knew it was going to run out, and I didn't want it to run out on camera, but so much for that. Okay, so we have that, and then we have our 2 die cuts. So we'll put the navy one down first. Sometimes when you peel these off, if you haven't popped out the little pieces, sometimes they'll come out with the backing. Actually, I don't think I want that low. It's like sticking to my hand. There we go. All right, and then we will peel off this one. Maybe. There we go. If you don't have adhesive sheets, you can totally use glue, a fine tip glue pen, or even our Tombow. You'll just, you know, don't squeeze a lot out at once and just kind of dot it on, and it works just fine. All right, now we need some of our white twine. Yeah, that worked well. Wow, what a hot mess that was. I do have a bow maker, but you know what? Every time I use it, I have to watch the directions on how to tie the bow because I always forget. Fortunately, twine is pretty pliable and you can kind of make it the shape that you want. Okay. But then, you know, sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate, like now. So what I'm going to do is, I think once I get this a glue dot on it, I can flip that little piece over that does not want to behave and get it to lay better. It's so funny because, you know, if I actually tried to do that with a piece of twine, it would never stay. But because I don't want it to do that, it has decided it wants to do that. Okay. So then we have two little pieces that you will die cut that, oh my gosh. All right. This is what you get for not getting sleep for 2 days. You forget everything. Okay. So now I actually do have to die cut because I forgot to cut this navy piece. Okay. So you will get a piece of paper that you will die cut. You will get a navy strip like this. And I'll show you what I meant with the, I'll show you what I meant with the little green piece of paper and how I use the die to cut the other end so that I could make it shorter, but still have a decorative end to it. Got a nice picture of my hand. Hey, Nell. Thank you. The adhesive sheet backing is able to be moved around a little. So you mean once you stick it down to the card, you can still adjust it? Is that what you're asking, Jenny? Oh, wait, I was going to show you guys something. So actually, I don't need the die cutting machine to show you. Okay, so when I was talking about the lemon lime twist piece, this one, and how I got it to be that size, I obviously stamped first, so I knew how much I needed to cut off. And then I just took it and, you know, selected whatever side I wanted and just did this and ran it through, and then it just cut off the edge. So you can just make it whatever size you want. So yes, Jenny. So the adhesive sheets are not like, say, tear and tape, where with tear and tape, usually when you stick things down, you are stuck with them being where they're at. The adhesive sheets are a little more forgiving. So once you've got them down and they've had time to sit, they're stuck, but they're not going to seal right away like your tear and tape or your Seal Plus. So yes, they are fairly forgiving. I'm so glad you like the colors now. Okay, and then for this, we're just going to layer our sentiment on top of this navy piece here, just kind of like so. And I'm just going to use my stamp and seal. I think here it is. Yes, I really like them for dies like this. I mean, using a fine tip glue is great. And I did on the original cards I use one of these. Just to get a finer tip than the Tombow, although we do have the fine tip. Oh, criminy. I touched a microphone. I touched my mouse pad somehow. Now I've got something on my screen here. Okay. But our fine tip glue would work as well, but I just put glue in this. I know, Heather, I really struggle to remember to use them as well. However, like I said, when I first made these, I used glue and I was a hot, sticky mess. And this was a lot of delicate dies to put glue on. So I was like, don't forget to use the adhesive sheets. All right, and we are going to stick this up on dimensionals as well. And again, I'm just going to kind of twist my bow. It's going to do it for me so that I can kind of set this here. Let me grab my tweet and grab this. I think my cats have taken off with the cap to my the caps to my take your pick tool because I cannot find them anywhere. Wow, who knew twine could fight you so much? Okay. Well, and I keep mine in a drawer, my adhesive sheets. So, you know, out of sight, out of mind, typical for me. Okay, and so there is card number 3. So let me get some of this stuff out of the way here, and I'll bring back all the cards. Oh no, we aren't done, are we? We still have to do embellishments. Yeah, typical putty getting stuck to my embellishment there, and I can't get it off. Operator error. Okay, now we're done. Okay, so let me move some stuff aside, and I'll grab the other cards. So we've got those. And then this is the first one we made. And then, of course, the background, since it's watercolor, it's going to turn out different depending on how much ink you use, what sort of method you use. And then we have those. You guys see those okay? I feel like I'm kind of off screen. So you can get these free. Like I said, the card kit's free, two each for the 3 designs, so 6 cards total with a purchase in my store. You'll just need to make sure to use the host code that's at the bottom of my screen. It's also on my website, and it's also linked on my website. And you can get the embellishments for free as well with the purchase. And ordering for this kit ends on July 2nd. And then we will start a new kit for next week. So could you, Jenny says, can you please remind me what color the last card is? Night of Navy and Coastal Cabana. This one, right? Night of Navy and Coastal Cabana. And then this is also Coastal Cabana, the watercolor that I used. You are welcome, Jenny. Does anybody have any questions? And no, I don't know if I had said this when you had, or if you had popped in already, but I'm starting a Christmas in July series on Saturday. So for the month of July, I'll be doing a set of 3 Christmas cards every Saturday with a different stamp set. And because our holiday catalog doesn't come out until September this year, I will be using sets that have carried over or online exclusives. So that is what I have for you this week. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can comment here on the video on YouTube or Facebook. You can message me, email me. I have a contact form on my site. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And thank you so much, everybody, for spending time with me today and forgiving all of my fumbles. And I hope I will see you next week and that the rest of your week is fabulous. Thanks, everybody. Bye.